Hey, what's going on, folks? Yeah, I am having a damn good day today. Uh, I'm not gonna lie, I had a awesome, proud daddy moment, and definitely want to give a huge shout out to my wife and everything that she's been doing with my son. But one of the things that I'm not gonna say that should take account into it, but I think one of the things that's also aiding to my son's progression is our method of education. We're going very non-traditional for the most part, as far as how we're teaching him and the way he's learning. And one of the things I wanted to show you guys, I kind of did a video. I did a video on this a while ago, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys kind of what my wife has already been doing and what she's been implementing, just with the few things that she's been using it for. So talking about cerego again, um, it, we had a pact that anytime he uses his iPad or his little tablet, he has to do at least a round of cerego. Point blank period, no ifs, ands, or buts. If he wants to, use his YouTube, he has to play cerego. And this is a awesome learning tool. I got another video on it. You guys could watch that just to get a bit more in depth. But I just kind of want to show you guys how I'm implementing it for my son, and then also how I'm using it for myself, as far as how I execute my studies and retain a lot of the information that I do. But so this is just an example of what it looks like. So this is my son's account right now. I We started with something small because I just wanted to see where he was at. He's two. What is this? I hate doing the months thing, but he turns 3 in December. But my thought process is if I can see him watching and using the YouTube app and swiping the videos and telling me what he wants to watch, and he's able to identify by looking at it and clicking it, that tells me that his motor skills are well developed and are able to be challenged to a certain extent. Right, still a kid. Don't want to turn into one of those freak of nature, you can't do anything but learn kids, right? But try to utilize as much opportunity as you can for, I guess you could say, educational purposes. But anyway, so this kind of turns it into a game for them. You can make it fun if you want to, but we started with something small with shapes, and what's really cool is this tracker here. Um, so just give a brief. A bunch of people got together. Forgot the technical term for this thing, but it's called muscle. I think it's muscle. Man, anyway, it's a just study. It's pretty much pertaining to how people retain information. Uh, and they took a wide variety of people, studied them for years to figure out, different learning strategies, and they essentially came up with this algorithm for the software. Now, it's not perfect, but I will tell you it is the best thing I've ever seen when it comes to study aids and being able to retain information, whether it be for school, just maybe some history facts you just want to retain and know, government things, maybe things back in the day that you'd like to, refresh yourself with. It's just so many things you can do. And so one of the things that I figured I could start small is ABCs and shapes. I did just added the shape ABCs for them, but shapes is, we started with that. I would say maybe about 2 or 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago, I got them using it. So essentially, what this thing does is based off of your progress and what you've learned, it can take you into different levels. So if you're in level one, that means that you should be able to remember that item for a couple days. Level two, a couple weeks. Level three, a couple months. If you make it to level four, you should be able to retain that information for a year. And then if you get it to mastery, you'll retain it. And the way you can do this is you create different question types and different formats, and so it keeps track of all the information. Like this is as far as how many times my son has studied the different items, and so this is essentially one item that's appearing multiple times as many times he's used the app. So in a total of the amount of times that he's been using it, it's equal up to 6 hours for this particular item, for square. Which is ironic because this is one of the things that one of the shapes that he struggles with the most, as far as telling the difference between square and rectangle. And it's really cool how this thing hammers different things in that it feels that's more important, and it keeps track of how you're doing with it. So like I can show you an example of what it looks like. You know, you go into the learn fraction section of it and shapes. It's loading up now. And essentially, it pulls up your memory bank. You go in. You say, okay, let me just do 5. I don't want to mess up the stuff, but we could just say we're going to do 5. And we're doing 5. So it says, so I'll be sitting with him, or my wife will be sitting with him, be like, hey, Liam, so what's your square? Show Bob a square. You know, and he'll, find through, figure out what he wants. On his iPad, he can pick it. If he were on my laptop, he'll pick up the screen, and I'll pick it for him, and, it tells you got it right. Rectangle, and say that he gets rectangle and picks square, and it tells you which one you get right or wrong. Um, it gives you another refresher. And I mean, this is one type of question that you can do. I mean, there's like 5, I think maybe 8 different question types that you can actually utilize. This is just one of them. It's called association. So I really like that one because you could treat it like flashcards, and you can have an anchor with multiple associations to it. So it is pretty cool. That style of questioning is pretty cool. Like if I go to some of the sets that I configured, and you can kind of see what the questions look like, or what some of the questions are. And I want to show you the one that I'm creating for random, because this is one of the main reasons what triggered me to do this video. So you can see on the side here, all these different options are the different question types that you can create. I'll log into my cerego and show you what my cerego looks like that I use for my personal self. But I utilize every single one of these question types. I've have a question for each one of them. One of my favorite is passages, and with passages, one of the things that I wanted to do was teach my son how to spell his name. So what you can do is you can go in and type in. I'll show you. I'll just show you. You can go in and put in a passage, or put in a paragraph or a phrase or whatever, a word. For instance, I'm using this to do for my son's name or whatever. So I can go in and I can say, okay, I'm going to add a clause, and a clause I'm going to make it each letter. So I would have to spell out the word test. Right now my computer is acting a little slow, but essentially you can go in and create clauses and do this, and then essentially when the question comes up, it's either it'll be a multiple choice, or you got to type the letter in or the word in that you highlighted to be that highlight missing. So that's really cool. One of my favorite things is regions. It kind of just popped up there shortly, but I'll get back to it. So this one here. So this is a picture of my wife and my sisters while they were while we were in Orlando. So one of the things that I find that is really difficult, in kind of dealing personally in my own relationship, is that with the type of work that I do, and the side of the world that I'm on now, it's hard to see family, and it's very difficult for children because without repetition, without being around them, they kind of don't know who they are, and I don't really want that to happen to both sides of the family, right? So one of the things with regions you can do is you can go ahead and take a picture and carve out things of the picture, and then put like names to it. So I can go in and do a preview. I'll show you what it would come out to. So it'll come up and tell you, okay, based off of this, okay, this is, who's this? That's Auntie Gigi. Okay, then so who's that person? It'll ask you who that person is, and then you'll be like, Liam, who was that? Oh, Auntie Gigi is that? Okay, no, Auntie Gigi. Good job. So it at least it'll get him familiar with my sister's face, right? So that's kind of some really cool methods that you could take advantage of. I mean, you can go really in depth. You can do music notes, you can do instruments, you can do animals, you can create your own. I mean, so like I'll log into my cerego just to show you how much I use this. You can add anybody who knows me as far as my study habits and all that stuff. I I do not there's not one day that goes by that I don't utilize my cerego. Either I'm entering information in, or I am learning something new. There's never a day that goes by that I'm not using it. It is so pertinent to what I do, and especially with my career, that I constantly have to learn stuff. And I'm studying for a very, very tough test right now. So right now it's telling me I got 47 memories. So out of that, and these look like not that many, but they're a bunch of little memory. They're a bunch of sets put together in a series. So I got one for my CCIE, which is about like I think 9 series deep, 9 sets deep or something like that. I can't recall, but yeah, you see, it's 7 sets. Sorry, yeah, so 7 sets, about 400, almost 400 items uh, all together there. But in total of all the memories, if I go in, I think it was a 1300 or 1200 or something like that now. Let's see. So as it calculates, yeah, I got 1415 memories, and I have 47 pending for that I need to refresh. But I mean, essentially, the way how I've been using this has just been amazing, and the ability of me able to retain information, and then the improvement that I'm seeing with my son, and now I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. As regards to us using it more. Let's see if we go in here just so you guys can get a better picture. This is one of my oldest series on there. But as you can see, like it could tell you based off of how many questions, which ones are merely moderate, hard, very hard, the easy ones. You got, how much study time that you spent on each topic. When's the next time each topic is going to show up on your memory, your last scene, and then you got a dashboard that gives you a readout, which is going to be extremely slow due to, the amount of memories that I have on this. So I mean, it's a lot of information. I mean, a whole lot of information, but just an example of what you guys can do. I know people with kids and people in my generation are getting creative these days, and I feel like the old sit behind a desk and lecture your kid to death is not going to do it these days. My thing is teaching my kid foundations, teaching them fundamentals that'll help him survive, teach him what the red light means and what the green light means now. So when it gets time for him to really know it, he already has familiarity with it, you know. You know, even if he doesn't know what the letter L is, falls in where the letter L falls in the alphabet, he'll at least know that his first name starts with it. This is the foundation. It's a stepping stone, but it takes you and puts your kid a lot further than where most children are able to be, or just are don't have the opportunity. You know, so just something that it's free. You sign up for it. It takes a little time. Don't get me wrong. Um, hey, if you think about it, you spend 8 hours at work, working to make somebody else rich. You can spend 2 hours, 3 hours, or whatever time that it takes you to build something for your kid. I mean, that's our future, And to me, this is an investment. This is time well invested. So uh, it's going to take some time once you get into the format and realizing how you want to do it and how you formulate your questions or what material you want to put together. It starts flowing, man. But of course, it takes a little brain power to figure out how you're going to do it. But like I said, when you do it, the rewards are so awesome. It's just amazing. And like one thing I always say, do not underestimate your children. They are way smarter than you think, and they know more than people give them credit for. Let me tell you that. So, take advantage of this and just for yourself, see what it does, and let me know. I'd like to know. Please tell me because I actually would like to know and see what everybody's kids' progress is like. All right, peace.